Yvette! Welcome to today's video. I like to attempt patterns in languages I don't understand, and today I'm going to choose a pattern from the Russian crochet book. So this is a book from the library, which means I don't own it, but I'm probably going to end up having to photocopy it to see it, but it looks like we got a wide, just from the front cover alone, it looks like we got a wide variety of projects that we can use. And already this looks a lot less intimidating than a lot of the designs I was looking at the knitting book. Because that's the way I do these things. I usually do the knitting one first and I do the crochet one second, even though when I actually choose on the project, it tends to be reversed, but whatever. Anyway. Oh yeah, we have another person writing in the book. But this is the publishing information. Just so we have that set in case I'm unable to type it in the description box below. Alright. So we start with a huge block of text. That is a real wall of words. Usually it starts with the introduction, so I don't have to worry too much about that part, usually. Oh, and now we have a description of hooks. Which I can only tell from that. It's explained like the different sizes of the hooks. It's going from 1 to 3. I mean, that's like a typical crochet size anyway. 1 to 3. Oh, and then we have a material list. So they're choosing a definite cartoony style for this, yeah. So they have like the hook and the scissors. Well, there's a tape measure, ruler, some sort of triangle ruler, tapestry needle, pin, safety hook. I have no clue what the hell that is. I mean, if I didn't see the safety hook, that would make more sense. I would have assumed that was a safety hook. I'm talking that. Guys, I just figured out my first Russian word. That stands for materials. I have no idea how that's pronounced, but that's what that's talking about, yeah? I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Wouldn't it be hilarious if I was actually wrong about that? But I'm like 95% sure that stands for materials. So we have more stuff here. Okay. Oh, and now we're talking about techniques. Because I see a graph of someone holding yarn with a hook, and also that looks kind of similar. I thought I wasn't going to have any like similarities there. I guess that goes through. I mean, to be fair, English is basically a language that likes to operate while wearing the hats of 3 other languages going on at once. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are words that we plucked from Russian and made it into our own vocabulary, and maybe techniques is one of them. I don't know. I don't know if there's much plucking of Russian words into English as compared to other languages. Like, it happens a lot more with Spanish. And, like, it would happen a lot more with French. Yeah, and so now this is explaining how to make a slip knot and make a chain, explaining the different parts of the stitches, And that's explaining how to do a slip stitch. And that explains how to do double crochet. And I have no idea what this is supposed to represent. There is no standard thing for Morse code in crochet. This is something that's unique to this book. But I'm sure for someone who understands Russian, it would be very helpful. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have more techniques here. Oh! Oh, that's explaining single crochet, half double crochet. It's showing me the abbreviations as I go along. How cute is that? And that looks like treble crochet. That looks like treble crochet there. This is exciting. Already, this is, like, I haven't even hit a pattern yet, and this is already much more easy to understand. Oh my gosh. I don't even know the English word for that. But that went around 4 times. That's like 4 loops. Seeing that makes me want to blaspheme, honestly. And while I'm not entirely sure why that is considered a sin, we will refrain from it right now. I will just sit in my flabbergastedness and enjoy the sensation of being flabbergasted. Okay, so that's an increase. Yeah, that looks like an increase, and that looks like a bobble, the popcorn stitch. And that's a decrease. I have never seen that stitch before. Oh my gosh. I appreciate how clear these patterns are of explaining things. Also, I mean, that's a picot stitch. This one right here is a picot stitch. But like I said, I don't think I said it in this video. I think I said it in the knitting pattern choosing video. But because I ordered this from the library, I didn't really get a chance to vet the books as much. Because, like, when you click on it in the library, there's no picture like it would be if you were to order online. And so, all I had was a title and an author and the fact that it was in Russian. And the fact that it was available for me to check out. And the year that it was published. But, I mean, that didn't really help so much. So I didn't really have a sense of who it was meant for, other than people who understand Russian. So this book I feel is more geared towards the beginner. the knitting book I had was definitely someone who knew how to knit. But this crochet book is more geared towards the beginner. This looks like a finishing technique, I would guess. Not entirely sure. It's going in the opposite direction in which I would usually crochet. It also, oh, it looks like a bind off technique in general. We have a bunch of arrows going into like a typical chain. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Okay. We have more Morse code. Oh! I have a better understanding of this now. So, all throughout this entire time, they've been adding things like that. These are their graphs. This is explaining how they're doing like the separate stitches. So, I just have to figure out what that translates to. Ah, okay. It may be a lot easier to do this book than I was expecting if they're relying on graphs. Like, okay, so when I was borrowing this from the library, the librarian, like, as I was checking out, the librarian was asking me, like, do you understand Russian? And I was like, no. And she was like, do you understand crochet patterns? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, are you going to be okay with the fact that this book is in Russian? So then I had to explain to her what I was doing here, but now I understand her concern. Also, if you're watching, librarian lady, thank you. Ooh, we have more pretty graphs. So, I'm going to take a quick pause here. Okay, I'm back. I had to accept the fact that I needed to human for a moment, but I am back now. And we have more pretty graphs. And now I'm like realizing there's like a whole number system underneath. So I'm wondering if these are all the different graphs for all the different projects that are coming up. Because it's kind of like a figure number, and then it's like another type of number. So it seems like it's some sort of system here. So, yeah, it's intriguing. It's kind of, the parallel that I'm thinking here is like when a book has like, this is the project. Oh, this is the figure for the project. Ooh. Yeah. Now we get to look at all the pretty graphs. 4 graphs. Ooh. This one has some writing to it. You know, these are beautiful in their own way. Feels almost very relaxing. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like it's teaching me a new language, but in this case, the language is not Russian. The language is crochet symbols. Whew. Like, this almost seems like a mix between what a person trying to take a new take on Christianity would look like, but also someone who is drawing a bunch of tarot artwork for the sword suit. Yeah. Woo! This looks like a graveyard. Alright, so now we have another block of text. I have no idea what they're talking about here. I have a better sense of what they're talking about here. So everything that I've been looking at has been a flat panel. This is talking about going in the round. But spirally. Which is good to know that they're talking about going in a spiral. Instead of just adding a new stitch and then going on that way, because that is how I typically crochet. I just continue in the spiral. I don't bother going individually row by row. That's good to find out. Oh, now I see a human body. They're talking about measuring the human body. Which it almost seems like the type of how do I phrase this in a non-offensive way? People who tend to dress like emo or goth, they often wear, or like someone who's more into like a BDMS style, they often wear just like leather straps across certain parts of their torso. It's kind of like belts, but more than just that. It kind of looks like the setup for that cool like multi-belt strap look. For like someone who wants to wear like a metal, like a leather strap over another layer. Often fishnet, but also just like a regular t-shirt. I hope that makes sense. Oh. We have a number chart here. It looks like it's in centimeter. Oh. Is this... You see, I understand part of the chart, but not all of it. So this is like some sort of sizing chart. And I'm assuming centimeters means like the actual centimeters. Like cm stands for centimeters. So this is like the number of centimeters. But the problem is I don't know what this part is referring to. So I don't know if this has like a universal size thing for their patterns, or if this is just like a general sizing chart they put in. But also like, so Russia is part of like the Eurasia continent, and European sizing is different from like American sizing in that the numbers that they choose to be, like the numbers that they choose to be the sizes for clothing is on a completely different scale than what the United States would typically consider for the sizes, and the European sizes go higher. I don't know entirely how to explain it here. I see it a lot with shoes. if I see a good picture of what I'm thinking about, I'm going to insert a picture of it here. Have we gone into the actual patterns here? I hope not. There'd be no way for me to know though, huh? I don't actually see any numbers going on. It looks like... I hope... I was about to say, I hope I can tell when we actually start hitting the patterns, and yes. The thing is, the picture, like, they printed this book in black and white, so it's a little bit, it's not the best quality picture, but at least I now know I hit a pattern. Got some sort of little booties here. From the amount of stitches that I can see in even this quality picture, these are little baby booties. Oh, I now know where the materials are, and we have ourselves a graph here, guys. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be photocopying whatever pattern I choose, so that way I can write all over it to figure it out. That's probably going to be in like the next video, me just writing it all out. Because like, that's the translation part, and the translation part happens on camera. Yeah. Like, I'm not attempting to translate off camera. That's important, because the translating part is the entertainment factor here. Okay, we have some sort of other special graph here. Oh, we have suddenly just changed to another pattern, and oh, that's sneaky. I don't know where the pattern changed. That's sneaky, man. Oh my gosh. Many pattern books, when they change the pattern, will leave the rest of the page blank. Like, if the pattern finishes mid-page, they'll just leave the rest of the page blank, and they'll start the new pattern on a new page. This book starts the new pattern right here, which I only caught because of the picture here. And the fact that I've learned the word for materials. I've learned how to recognize the word for materials. No idea how to pronounce it. That looks like a hat, though. Aw. So, okay. I'm looking at a picture of a baby. And the baby is wearing two knitted objects. But it's a new pattern. So it's like, what is this for? But see, the baby's wearing a sweater and a hat. I think this pattern's for the hat, because when I look at the stitches, I mean, I can barely look at, yeah, when I look at the stitches of the hat, that looks more crochet work to me, while the stitches here look more like knit stitches. And crochet and knit, even though they both use yarn, they look very, very different from each other. And usually, like, I know I have a knit stitch nearby. I don't know if I have anything crocheted nearby. I might have brought all the crochet stuff down. because like the way that the two are made are very, very different from each other. Oh, I do have something crocheted nearby. Okay. Failed heart. Okay. Here we go. So this is something that, yeah, you got like, you're making loops upon loops with each other, and they create like the same stacked stitches. They create a lot straighter a row. While with crochet, you're literally making knots, yeah? You're making knots with each other. So even if this were like, oh, it might be better if I get one of those. Okay. Yeah, an actual square. You can see like it's an actual knot. Like they're knots. They do not look the same whatsoever. So even if the picture's like poor quality, if you can just like maybe so glary. My gosh. Okay. You can see even if the picture's not all that great, they don't photograph the same way. Welcome to your introduction to art history and analyzing details. No, not just art history. Welcome to art analysis, analyzing details. Oh. How are we at a new pattern already? Oh. Okay. As I am tangled with the yarn in my knitting machine down there. Because I need to have room, and now I'm tempted to like put my foot on my knitting machine anyway. I'm about to have a formatting problem. So here, okay. So we have the introduction to a new pattern here, yeah? I turn the page. The introduction to another pattern here with a new picture. So I'm guessing all of that is the baby pattern. But then, oh, because they include the graph on a different page. But then, yeah, at least I now know that's the graph for the hat. But then they have another picture before they even have that, and that is not the picture of the hat. Oh. Okay. I have a better... This is the entire baby pattern for the hat. Which relates to... Okay, it relates to that graph. And then this is the new pattern here. And then this pattern right here is this tank top. That was very confusing. Pretty tank top though. I'm trying to see. In general, I love tank tops. But you would definitely need to wear another shirt under that because there's a lot more gaps. We have a new pattern here. Or no, is this a tank top? No. I feel like I hit a new pattern, but I don't know what this pattern is for. I'm getting the feeling, which if this is true, it's going to make my life much harder. The pictures are not lining up with the patterns. which means I don't know which pattern goes with which picture. I'll be able to do the stitches. I won't know what stitches. What I do notice when the book is shut, I don't know how visible it is, you can kind of see, like most of the pages are like this tan beige color, and then the middle is quite white, which often happens in books where they print the book in black and white, but then they have a little color insert. So I'm hoping the color insert will say what the pattern is, and I'll be able to find it that way. Yeah. Because if that happens, that will be my saving grace. Because right now I'm looking at a formatting nightmare. In that I don't know which pattern relates to what project. Which, if I understood Russian, this would be no problem. I would go like, oh yeah, okay, the formatting is not that great. But because I insist on doing things in languages I don't understand, this could make or break it for me. Pretty graph though. Huh. Oh yeah, we have some sewing stuff here. Okay. We have gone through a new project. I don't even know what project this is related to, man. Ooh. We have another cute tank top. Yeah, that looks like a quick workup there. Whatever that is. Oh. So I'm looking at this graph right here. It looks like it's about to start with a whole new project. I don't know how this translates to whatever it is, but this looks like something you would get tattooed on yourself as a geometric pattern. Just like, so calming. Just like across the back, across the shoulder blades. And they ask, what does it mean? And it's like, well, it means you have to double crochet in 5 times in the same stitch and then have a little like wave effect and have a little yarn over effect by slip stitching 3 stitches across this double crochet section. Wow, I'm starting to understand the graphs, aren't I? And they go like, what's the real meaning? And you'll have to go like, that is the real meaning. Oh man. Ooh. That's a nice shirt. I don't even know what colors these shirts are. The colors could make or break it, but that's like a nice, like, that graph makes me happy. Such a bubbly, delightful looking graph. You know, math was not my favorite subject in school, but I loved making graphs. It was an excuse to draw in math class. I did have a teacher yell at me for spending too much time making the graphs look pretty. But to be fair, I was not doing well that year, and I had to make sure the graphs were super clear because I wasn't understanding the algebra equations. And sometimes the mental capacity to try to figure out the projects was not as great, and that was my workaround around it. I do not miss high school. And now we have more patterns. I've lost track of what patterns with what, and okay. We have color inserts. There are no words on the first page of the color insert. So these are the different, I'm guessing these are the different patterns that are available. So they're the little booties. There's the little hat. It's even better in color. Oh my gosh. So it's focused on the baby hat and it cuts off the sweater. So it's related to the baby hat here. We already have another hat. Oh yeah. These look even better in color. Oh my gosh. Look at those. So pretty. You can see her bra underneath too. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like when I started wearing tank tops, like the straps didn't always line up with my bra straps. So I just stopped caring about whether the bra showed or whatnot. It's like it became part of the look, just the bra strap. As time would go on, I would choose the color bra that would work with the shirt that I was wearing. If I knew that the bra was going to show. It's like, it's just part of the outfit. And like, honestly, I paid good money for the bra. Why shouldn't I show it off? It still covers everything that needs to be covered. Oh, okay. So, this is the last picture that I saw. Still looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, the person chose amazing colors for these works. And so this is like the first new one that I'm seeing, and oh my gosh, so pretty. So unfortunately, there are no words. So what I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to count the photographs and then count where I notice there's a new pattern, because even though the pictures do not line up, the rest of the formatting is pretty consistent. They changed the font size to have the different titles and the different headings, and the font size for the titles of the patterns are bigger than all the other things, and they don't necessarily like nothing else is that particular size. So if I assume that these pictures are in the order of the patterns in the book and then I count along, I can figure out which pattern goes to which picture. And that's how I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna make. We got a game plan now. This is gonna be more doable. Ooh, someone had fun with the furry yarn. And also, that shirt, mwah, chef's kiss. Okay. Someone had fun with the furry yarn. The eyelash yarn. That's the word I was looking for. Eyelash yarn. As my neighbor decides to start idling his car like he does every morning at this time. But look at that shirt. Ooh! One, she chose an amazing shade of green, but also that design. I like how you get like a little peekaboo action while covering everything that needs to be covered. So cute. Oh, we just have a shrug here. Just a shrug here. And then we have kind of just like a flat shirt. But a very texturally interesting shirt. That is intriguing. I've never quite attempted anything like that. I was about to say it wasn't something I would typically wear, but it might actually be. At the very least, there is a version of me that would wear that. I don't know if I'm currently that version of me. Man, my mind's a confusing place. Okay. So there are beads in this thing. There are beads in both of these things. So this is like a fishnet dress type of deal. It's very hard to see the details on that. It's like it's a dark yarn. And they chose a really deep blue dress to go underneath. Which, this is like, don't get me wrong, this is a stunning outfit. But if you want it, but as a crochet pattern picture, I would have chosen the lighter dress to go underneath there so you could more clearly see the stitches. As a crochet picture, this is not a great picture. As a fashion picture, this is an amazing picture. This is like some sort of cowboy action going on here. I don't know why I'm thinking cowboy. It gives that cowboy vibe. But it looks like a two-piece thing. It looks like there's a shrug that goes over a tank top. Oh, I know why it gives me cowboy vibes. There's a lot of fringe. And actually, that fringe there, it's not crocheted, that's sewn on. There is no crochet stitch in hell that would get that look. That's sewn on to the bottom. Now that's a crochet fringe right there on the sleeve. That's kind of like the granny square look, honestly. Ooh. Okay. I just want to say, I am loving the bras underneath here. Like, now that I'm realizing they're actually, like, letting the bras show through, I'm just loving the bras that they're choosing, which... So we got a shawl here. And we also got, like, a little teddy bear beret. It's like... I do love a crochet pattern for a stuffed animal, but that's not a crochet stuffed bear. That is sewn. Just because of the type of fabric that they chose. Or, well, there is yarn that can make it look like that, actually. But even then, the stitches tend to be more visible. But also the fact that you've got a clearly crocheted beret on top here. That's probably it. But that is a nice shawl. Not much of a shawl person, but I could see that. There is a stuffed animal in here. I'm so excited. That, on the other hand, is a crocheted stuffed animal. I don't know if that's supposed to be a polar bear or a dog. It's got a Christmassy feel because that's a Santa hat. I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be a rattle? This looks like a frog coin purse. But these are some bags. And well, that's a bag. That looks like a belt, honestly. But like... Ooh! I can also tell from the picture they use the Chanel yarn. Which... I like how it feels. I don't necessarily like working with it. I also feel kind of strange washing it too. Because it has like that dry, clean feel that you don't want to ruin. That's what's great about the Bernat blanket yarn. It has that Chanel feel, but I know it's washable. Ooh. That's for like the pro crocheter there. My gosh. We are in doily land, y'all. Like, look at that. That's like intricate lace work up to them. That's like, I mean, I do have yarn thin enough to pull that off. Whether I have the patience to pull that off, I don't know. I'm not sure I would have the patience to pull that off in English, to be quite honest. And we got more doilies. They're really pretty. Look at that. So pretty. Again, I don't know where I would keep a doily. I'm like clutter queen. And we have more doilies. Huh. And intriguing. So here we have, on the last page here, we have some doilies. This is like in the shape of an owl. This is in the shape of a strawberry. I can't tell if that's layered or not, to be quite honest. And I have no idea what this is. Is this supposed to be a flower? I mean, that's just a regular doily, but is that supposed to be a flower? I don't know. I like the leaf action, though. The middle. And yeah, we have more of the same pattern nonsense. But in a way, without even intending to, I kind of just looked at all the patterns, didn't I? Oh! We have our teddy bear action here. Maybe. Oh, okay. Oh. The doilies might be easier to oh, the bear might be easier to understand. Maybe. For the things that are on the same page, it might be harder to figure out which is which. Now that I'm thinking about it. Ooh. Doily graphs are a little bit easier to tell apart. And then weirdly enough, the table of contents is on the back unless this is the index. But everything's in order, so I think it's the table of contents, which is a strange choice for a book in a language that reads from left to right. I've never seen that before. Yeah, that's the table of contents. All the numbers are in order. Oh. I'm glad there is a table of contents though, because it means it's going to be easier to separate the different patterns for when I need to figure out what it is I'm going to make. And then the good old, you like this book? Buy the other books. So now I got a decision to make, yeah? I got a decision of what it is that I want to make. I'm already going to be eliminating all the baby stuff. I'm not really in that mindset right now. The babies that I'm mostly carried about at the moment are the people who I'm watching on The Sims, which sounds terrible, but I mean, if I'm going to be making stuff for babies, I'm going to be making stuffed animals. I'm not going to be making baby clothes. And while I am loving these shirts, I'm not entirely sure that's what I'm going to go for. I mean, this shirt is still like, I mean, for me, I think it's pretty clear. I'm going to be making something from this page. I'm leaning towards our polar bear friend here, but I wouldn't be against making Mr. Froggy here. To be fair, I know I'm attempting this in a language I understand, but when I look at Mr. Froggy here, Mr. Froggy looks like 4 circles piled up on top of each other, so Mr. Froggy seems like a cop-out compared to Mr. Bear here, which causes more of a challenge. I wouldn't want to make this so much. I don't know what the hell that is. It looks like a teether. It looks like something flat, and if I'm going to make a stuffed animal, I want the stuffed animal to, like... Although, the stuffed animal is wearing a knitted scarf. If I were to make this, I wouldn't worry about the hat, or... I wouldn't be worrying about the hat or the scarf, because that's knit. And this is a crochet book. But I'm going to try to make our friend here, Mr. Polar Bear. Which, honestly, if I were attempting to buy a book in general, in another language, I would try to be focusing on a stuffed animal related book so I wouldn't have to worry about Gage. And that is literally the only stuffed animal I've seen in both books. Also, okay, I just want to point out, none of the projects here on the front, now that I know that, none of the projects here on the front cover have a pattern in the book. Are there a set of booties? Yes. Are they these booties? No, there's no pattern for this set of booties. There are also no patterns for these purses. Or whatever the hell this is. I mean, this looks cool. This looks like it'd be something interesting to try. There's no pattern for that. And then there are shirt patterns. But none of these shirts have a pattern in the book. Like, who decided on this front cover? It's like they put it for the wrong book. It's a fun cover to look at, but it has none of the patterns on the front cover. What a weird choice. It's a shame because that's a really cute pair of shoes. Anyway, now that I've decided we're going to do that, that's what I'm going to attempt to do the next time I attempt Russian crocheting. Anyway, that was today's entertainment. Have a nice day.